association with Boxer out here in Bournemouth with Savage Dan. I always like to ask you, see how savage you can be for me today. So, first of all, mate, how beautiful is this?
It's beautiful, man. Honestly, I needed this as well because I just came back from Barcelona last week. It's been a bit depressing in London. So this is more like it. I like it.
Main event, Chris Smith dreamt about this fight happening in his hometown. And obviously, dreams don't always come true, mate, but he dreamt about it 3-4 months ago. He took a gamble joining Boxer, and he's made it happen. How hard is this fight for him Saturday night?
Do you know what? I'm not even sure. I've struggled to rank where I would put Isaac Chamberlain in the cruiserweight rankings right now, just because of, his inactivity for a little bit, and then his opponents that were definitely not on his level. So he's able to just, almost step on them and do whatever he wants to them. Chris Smith has had better momentum recently, better opponents recently, and for that reason, combined with the fact that he's in his hometown and he's got all his fans with him, I'd give him the slight edge. But it's a tough fight. I've seen these go wrong when you try and have a homecoming. It's not an easy touch. Isaac Chamberlain is super skillful. Not the biggest puncher, but he digs his heels in, and he can really go and he can rough it out and he can be tough in there. So it's a very good fight. I've got a feeling it gels. They both can get in scrappy fights at times, but I've got a feeling we're going to see a tidier version of the fights that they've been having recently, basically.
That's quite a fair assessment. Obviously, undercard, you got Fraser Clark. Is he fighting Bracamonte?
Yes. Oh, yes, that is a big step up. It's a big step up for him. But look, we know how good Fraser.
Olympian?
Well, he's an Olympian, yes, and he's an amateur standout, yes, Fraser, but it's the pro game now, and you've done nothing here. Sometimes I have to remind myself that he's only one fight in. He hasn't even had his second fight yet, but will be his second professional fight. So, yes, you've got to move him fast because he's good, and because he's not 21. But you also need to appreciate that this is a statement. He wants to step up pretty fast and get the ball rolling. He's had a thumb injury, so he's got over that. Says it feels fine. Time to go.
Definitely, man. And obviously Ben Whittaker, he's got his debut tonight as well, Saturday night. I've just heard the news, I don't know if you're aware of it, but apparently Ben is also going to fight on the AJ Usyk undercard.
Is that announced, or are you tricking me?
No. Adam Smith confirmed it in his interview. As far as he knows, it's happening.
Looks like it's happening. Yeah, look, it's when you're a debutant, you can fight this week and the next week. Or it's not a shock to fight now and then fight in 3 weeks' time. I like it, man. This is an anticipated debut. Obviously, he's one of the most skillful fighters we have, and we can say that before he's even really stepped in a professional ring. Very skillful, very creative in there. He can create openings himself. He doesn't wait for mistakes. Him and Sugar Hill should and could be a match made in heaven. I'm interested. I'm actually quite excited to see it. He's outspoken. A lot of people will be kind of begging for him to lose pretty early on, but I like that. I think that's worth quite a lot when you've got a fighter who is so polarizing. He will have people that like him, but he will have an equal amount of people that dislike him and want him to lose. But either way, they're going to watch him.
100%, I agree with you, man. And talking of AJ, I think the last time we spoke in commentary, you mentioned you've done an interview piece with AJ. It's come out. A lot of people are talking about it because AJ don't do many interviews these days, and there's been loads of snippets coming out of that. Have you seen that?
I've seen the full version. I prefer the full version. That it was a put it this way, we had a long convo, probably an hour's convo or something like that. I'm not sure what came out, probably 12 minutes of it.
Was that the best 12 minutes, or is there good stuff missing?
There's loads of good stuff missing, but obviously you've got to be careful of what goes out. Or sometimes you don't want to give away anything tactical or anything game planning or or your next move is and blah, blah, blah. There's still enough in it. But for me, having been there in the room, we've done this interview, the better version would be in a much longer edit, of course. But it was a good interview nonetheless.
Is there anything juicy that's not in there that you could tell us about?
I'm guessing I can't, and I wouldn't, because if
you suggested the juicy stuff's been cut out.
I'm suggesting that you haven't got the full thing. That is not the full interview. Obviously, no interview really, apart from the likes of yourself and all the others, where you're going to get the full top to bottom finish. But yeah, it was a good interview. It was a good interview. I hope people liked what they got from it. I hope it made sense. I'm not sure how you cut out so much of an interview and still keep its actual essence of it. But look, bottom line, the key things to take from it was the change of trainer, the change of camp, the change of mentality, and loads of other things that I've probably forgotten about now because it's been a long time since I listened to that first edit as well and watched that first edit. But yeah, let's say there was the next time I'm gonna ask 258 to leave in as much of it as I want. I wanted the whole thing. I thought it was good.
You don't sound too pleased about that, man. Hopefully we'll get to see what's been missing out on that. So I'm guessing you're going to go out to Saudi and out the Sky have got the show?
Potentially. Yeah, I mean, look, Ben done well to I'm not saying Ben did this, but Ben definitely had an influence in getting this over the line. It's a huge fight, and it's a must-win now for AJ. He really has to throw the kitchen sink at Usyk. It's all or nothing. It really is. Like, you've got to go and get him. I will most likely be there. I haven't seen any official confirmation of the undercard. I've seen a couple of things here and there leaked. Nothing super official. But as soon as we know that for sure we'll have a couple of bars. We think we're going to have a couple of undercard picks. As soon as we know that for sure, we start working out who goes, what happens, how we deal with it.
Definitely. This question's probably not for you, but I'm going to ask you because you work with Boxer and Sky. You know, Eddie had done an interview recently, and he felt that Boxer, Sky purchased the rights for the AJ Usyk fight mainly out of spite and to disrupt the business of the zone. That's virtually quote to quote what Eddie said. You know, what do you make of that?
I think anyone would want that fight. Who wouldn't want the AJ Usyk fight? You know, if Saudi have bought the rights and they want to be able to go to, you know, the whatever broadcaster they want, why would Sky not want AJ versus Usyk too? It's a huge fight, even more on the line now than there was in the first one. AJ's always been with Sky. He's never fought away from Sky. So as it stands, I just think it's not even necessarily a clever move from Sky. It's the obvious move, you know. If you're Sky, of course you'd want AJ Usyk too. So obviously the zone will be frustrated. They've got AJ, I think, for the next 6 or something like that. I think the multi-year deal that they've done with him obviously doesn't include this fight. But whilst this fight is open to bidding, and you know, Saudi are going to want to put it in the best possible hands, and they pick Sky.
Fair play, man. I suppose it's a good point. Like you said, anybody would want it. And just wrapping up on that point, I think one of the other comments is the fact that AJ's secured his future with the zone. So why would somebody put so much money into one fight?
It's a big money fight, and it's a huge fight. You know, it's everybody would want this, and that's why everybody did want this. You know, he's pledged his long-term future to the zone, but what about the short term? You know, we're still in the here and now. We want it nonetheless. It's such a big fight. It's a big money fight. It's a big statement from Sky as well. You know, like, I think it's good for AJ to know that even though you know, he signed a long-term deal over there, that we're still willing to work with him, and Sky still want him on their network in the short term.
Definitely, Dan. I think you made some valid points there, and see what the fans have got to say about your opinions and this interview bit that's missing. Hopefully, we'll get to see it. Thank you for your time, mate. Unless you've got anything else to add.
No, I don't think we'll ever see it. I'll be honest. We've done everything that I've got it. No one else has it.
Ooh, see if somebody buy that off you one day. Thank you, man.
Love, bro. Thanks.